Bandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yatha Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sadhana Lalita Shivashikam Vitam Sya Om Jnana Timirandasha Yananjana Shilakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Vansha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratavishe Namah. So we're reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupad. This is Madhya-lila, chapter 13, ecstatic dancing of the Lord at Ratha-yatra. This is the first verse. Sajiyat Krishna Chaitanya Sri Ratagre Lanartayaha Yena Sids Jagatam Chitram Jagannatho Pi Vishmita. May the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who danced in front of the car of Sri Jagannath, be all glorified. By seeing his dancing, not only was the whole universe held in wonder, but Lord Jagannath himself became very much astonished. Jaya Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktivedanta. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, all glories to Sri Advaita Chandra, and all glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Shrotaganam Shuna Kora Kori Ekman Ratha-yatraya Nritya Prabhura Parama Mohan. All glories to the listeners of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Please hear the description of the dancing of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the Ratha-yatra festival. His dancing is very enchanting. Please hear of it with great attention. Aradin Mahaprabhu Haya Sabadan Ratre Uti Ganasange Koila Pratasnan. The next day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his personal associates got up in the dark and attentively took their early morning baths. Pandu Vijay Dekibare Korilagaman Jagannath Jatra Koila Chari Simhasan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his personal associates then went to see the ceremony of Pandu Vijay. During this ceremony, Lord Jagannath leaves his throne and gets up onto the Rath car. Apani Prataparudra Loya Patragan Mahaprabhu Gane Korai Vijay Darshan. King Prataparudra, Maharaj Prataparudra in person, as well as his entourage, allowed the Pandu Vijay ceremony to be seen by all the associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Advaita Nitayadi Sange Bhaktagan Suke Mahaprabhu Deke Ishwara Gaman. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his prominent devotees, Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, and others, were very happy to observe how Lord Jagannath began the Ratha-yatra. Balista Daitagan Jena Matat Hati Jagannath Vijaya Korai Kori Hatahati. The very strongly built Daitas, carriers of the Jagannath deity, were as powerful as drunken elephants. They manually carried Lord Jagannath from the throne to the car. Katak Daita Kore Skanda Alamban Katak Daita Dare Sripad Macharan. While carrying the deity of Lord Jagannath, some of the Daitas took hold of the shoulders of the Lord and some caught his lotus feet. Katitate Baradrida Stulapatadori Duidike Daitagan Utaya Tahadori. The Lord Jagannath deity was bound at the waist by a strong, thick rope made of silk. From two sides, the Daitas got hold of the rope and raised the deity. So in that last picture there's Jagannath, Baladev, and Subhadra. And the deities, those deities are very, very big. Takes a number of men to be able to carry Lord Jagannath and bring him onto the Rath car. Uchadrida Tuli Sab Pate Stane Ek Tuli Hoite Tvaraya Ara Tulite Ani Uchadrida Tuli Sab Pate Stane Ek Tuli Hoite Taraya Ara Tulite Ane. So Lord Jagannath is the one who's on the right. He's black, and then Subhadra is in the middle, Krishna's sister, and then is Balaram on white on the left. Strong puffed up cotton pads called tulis were spread out from the throne to the car, and the heavy deity of Lord Jagannath was carried from one pill-like pad to the next by the Daitas. So like you're sitting on like pads that have cotton in them. So those pads were very big pads. But even though they're big and filled with cotton, just by the weight of the deity being put on them, the pads would explode. Strong puffed up cotton pads called tulis were spread out from the throne to the car, and the heavy deity of Lord Jagannath was carried from one pill-like pad to the next by the Daitas, by the carriers. Prabhu, they have rope around the deity, and they're carrying, many men are carrying the deity. Prabhu paragate tuli hoya, hoy kanda kanda, tula sab udijai, shabda hoy prachanda. While the Daitas carried the heavy Jagannath deity from one pad to the next, some of the pads broke, and the cotton contents floated into the air. When they broke, they made a heavy cracking sound. Vishwambara Jagannathe ke chalaite pare apana ichaya chale korite bihare. Lord Jagannath is the maintainer of the whole universe. Who can carry him from one place to another? The Lord moves by his personal will to perform his pastimes. Mahaprabhu manima kore dwani nana badya kolahale kichwi nashuni. While the Lord was transported from the throne to the car, tumultuous sounds were made on various musical instruments. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was chanting Manima, Manima, but he could not be heard. The word Manima is used to address a respectable person in Orissa. Lord Jagannath was being respectfully addressed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this way. So Bengal is one state, and to the south of Bengal is Orissa, and Jagannath Puri is in the state of Orissa. So in the language of Orissa, the word Manima is a way of addressing like sir, or addressing respectfully a person. So Lord Mahaprabhu, he's chanting Manima, Manima, addressing Lord Jagannath. The word Manima is used to address a respectable person in Orissa. Lord Jagannath was being respectfully addressed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this way. Tabe Prataparudra kore apane sevan Suvarna Marjani Loya Kore Pata Samarjan. While the Lord was being carried from the throne to the car, King Prataparudra personally engaged in the Lord's service by cleaning the road with a broom that had a golden handle. So the king of Orissa, he has a broom and he's sweeping in front of the Lord's car and everything. His broom has a gold handle, but he's still sweeping the road, taking menial service to worship the Lord. King Prataparudra personally engaged in the Lord's service by cleaning the road with a broom that had a golden handle. Normally in India, the people who clean the street, they're called bungis, and they also keep pigs, and they're considered practically like very low. So sweeping the street is not a very high occupation, but the king did that out of respect for the Lord, for the Jagannath deity. Chandana jalete kore patanishe chane tucha seva kore basi raja semasane. The king sprinkled the road with sandalwood scented water. Although he was the owner of the royal throne, he engaged in menial service for the sake of Lord Jagannath. Uttamahoya raja kore tucha sevan ateva jagannathara kripara bojan. Uttamahoya raja kore tucha sevan ateva jagannather kripara bhajan. Although the king was the most exalted, respectable person, still he accepted menial service for the Lord. He therefore became a suitable candidate for receiving the Lord's mercy. Mahaprabhu Sukha Paila Se Seva Nekite Mahaprabhu Kripa Hoila Se Seva Hoite. Upon seeing the king engaged in such menial service, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very happy. Simply by rendering this service, the king received the mercy of the Lord. Ratha-yatra sajanideki loke chamatkar nava hema moya rata sumeru akar. Everyone was astonished to see the decorations on the Rath car. The car appeared to be newly made of gold, and it was as high as Mount Sumeru. So that's the way they're looking. They're looking like the car is golden, and it's as high as a mountain. Actually, the cars are quite big. Shata shata suchamara darpane ujwal upare pataka shobe chandoya nirmal. The decorations included bright mirrors and hundreds of chamaras, white whisks made of yak tails. On top of the car were a neat and clean canopy and a very beautiful flag. So we started Ratha-yatra when I was years ago, like 40-some years ago, when I was in Guadalajara. I was in ISKCON, and we started Ratha-yatra. And we made 3 cars like they do in Puri. And of course, they're much smaller than in Puri, but the first time we made them with regular axles, and the wheels just snapped off of them. And then we put in car axles, and the wheels also would come off. And finally, we had to put in trailer truck axles into the cars to keep the wheels on. The wheels are very, the whole thing is quite heavy, those cars. Gagara kinkini baje kantara fanita nana chitra patabastre rata vibhushita. The car was also decorated with silken cloth and various pictures. Many brass bells, gongs, and ankle bells rang. So we started the Ratha-yatra, I think that was in like 19 1970s, like 1977. We started in Guadalajara, and Srila Prabhupada was very happy, and he wrote me, "Just see how Lord Jagannath is conquering." he said, "Lord Jagannath is conquering all the molechas." That's right. Lilaya Chadila Ishwara Rata Rupar Aradui Rate Chade Subhadra Holadar. For the pastimes of the Ratha-yatra ceremony, Lord Jagannath got aboard one car, and his sister Subhadra and elder brother Balaram got aboard two other cars. Each one had their own car. There's that phone again. Panchadasha Dina Ishwara Mahalakshmi Loya Tarasange Krida Koila Nibrite Basya. For 15 days the Lord had remained in a secluded place with the Supreme Goddess of Fortune and had performed his pastimes with her. The 15-day period of Anavasar is also called Nibrita in honor of the solitary place where the Supreme Goddess of Fortune lives, Lakshmi. After living there a fortnight, Lord Jagannath took permission from the Goddess of Fortune to leave. So 15 days before Ratha-yatra, they have what's called Snan-yatra. And they take the Lord out of the temple into a compound high up, and they have the bathing ceremony. Snan means bathing ceremony. And then they say, after the bathing ceremony, they say that Lord Jagannath caught a cold. And so then he's not visible for 15 days. But actually, and he's taking different kinds of medicines and stuff, they say. But actually what's happening is what they call, what Govinda Maharaj calls nourishment. The deity is painted and made very nice for it to be ready for the Ratha-yatra ceremony in 15 days. So he's painted and taken care of and everything. And then they have Ratha-yatra. And Lord Jagannath, it mentions the Goddess of Fortune because Lord Jagannath's wife is Lakshmi, the Goddess of Fortune. Tahara samate laya bhakte sukha dite rate chari bahira hoila bihara korite. Having taken permission from the Goddess of Fortune, the Lord came out to ride on the Rath car and perform his pastimes for the pleasure of the devotees. And he more or less tells Lakshmi, "Oh, I'll be back just in a little while. I'm just going for a ride with some of my friends and everything." But he doesn't come back right away. He goes to the Gundicha temple and he stays there for some days, like 5 days. Then he comes back. And by that time, Lakshmi's real upset because he was supposed to be coming back soon and he didn't come back. So then she gets all dressed up and she is carried in palanquins towards the Gundicha temple when she gets there. That's called Hedra Panchami or Lakshmi Vijay. And she comes there all with maid servants, all with ladies. And then they come and they find out where the Rath car is, and then they start beating the Rath car with sticks, pounding against the Rath car with sticks and everything, and demanding to see Lord Jagannath. And then Lord Jagannath's servants come out and they arrest them and bind them up and insult them and everything. That's called Lakshmi Vijay. And it's really, that's a big part of the Ratha-yatra. So, having taken permission from the Goddess of Fortune, the Lord came out to ride on the Rath car and perform his pastimes for the pleasure of the devotees. Tahara samati loya bhakte sukadite rate chari bahir hoila bihara korite. Shukma Sweta Balu Pate Pulinerasam Duidike Totasab Jaina Vrindavan. The fine white sand spread all over the path resembled the bank of the Jamuna, and the small gardens on both sides looked just like those in Vrindavan. Ratha-yatra Jagannath Korila Gaman Dui Parshve Deki Chale Ananditaman. As Lord Jagannath rode in his car and saw the beauty on both sides, his mind was filled with pleasure. And in Puri for the Ratha-yatra, there's several million, millions. There are several millions of people that go to Ratha-yatra. It's really big. When they have a festival in India, it's big. So Ratha-yatra has millions of people. And when they have when they have the Magh Mela and the Kumbh Mela in Allahabad, in what? Hardwar, yeah. When they have those festivals, there can be between 6 and 12 million people at the festival. It's like a city. It's more than a city. More people than a city. Unimaginable how many people come for those festivals. Godasab Rata Tane Korea Ananda Kane Shigra Chale Rata Kane Chale Manda. The pullers of the car were known as Godas, and they pulled with great pleasure. However, the car sometimes went very fast and sometimes very slow. Kane Stira Hoya Rohe Tanile Hana Chale Ishwari Chaya Chale Na Chale Karobale. Sometimes the car would stand still and not move, even though it was pulled very vigorously. The chariot therefore moved by the will of the Lord, not by the strength of any ordinary person. So sometimes the car would move very quickly and very easily, and sometimes for no apparent reason the car would just stop and could not be moved. Tabe Mahaprabhu Sab Loya Bhaktagan Swahaste Paraila Sabe Malya Chandan. As the car stood still, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gathered all his devotees and with his own hand decorated them with flower garlands and sandalwood pulp. Paramananda Puriyar Bharati Brahmananda Sri Haste Chandanapaya Badila Ananda. Paramananda Puri and Brahmananda Bharati were both personally given garlands and sandalwood pulp from the very hands of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This increased their transcendental pleasure. Advaita Charya Ara Prabhu Nityananda Sri Hasta Sparshe Duhar Hoila Nanda. Similarly, when Advaita Charya Nityananda Prabhu felt the touch of the transcendental hand of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they were very pleased. Kirtaniya Gane Dila Maya Chandan Swarup Srivasa Jahara Mukhya Duijan. The Lord also gave garlands and sandalwood pulp to the performers of Sankirtan. The two chief performers were Swarup Damodar and Srivas Thakur. Chare Sampradaye Hoila Chavisha Gayan Dui Mardangika Hoila Astajan. There were altogether 4 parties of kirtan performers comprising 24 chanters. In each party there were also 2 mridanga players making an additional 8 persons. Tabe Mahaprabhu Mane Vichar Korea, because there's four parties. Tabe Mahaprabhu Mane Vichar Korea, Chari Sampradaya Dila Gayana Bantiya. When the four parties were formed, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after some consideration, divided the chanters. Nityananda Dvaita Haridas Prakeshware Charijani Yagya Dila Nritya Koribare. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Charya, Haridas Thakur, and Prakeshwar Pandit to dance in each of the four respective parties. So one of them, Nityananda, was a dancer, Advaita Charya was a dancer in another, Haridas was in the third group, and Prakeshwar Pandit in the other group. Pratama Sampradaye Koila Swarup Pradhan Ara Pancha Jana Dila Tara Palingan. Swarup Damodar was chosen as the leader of the first party and was given 5 assistants to respond to his chanting. Damodar Narayana Datta Govinda Raghava Pandit Ara Sri Govinda Nandana. The 5 who responded to the singing of Swarup Damodar were Damodar Pandit, Narayan, Govinda Datta, Raghava Pandit, and Sri Govinda Nanda. Advaitere Nritya Koribari Agyadila Shrivas Pradhanara Sampradaya Koila. Advaita Charya Prabhu was ordered to dance in the first group. The Lord then formed another group with Srivas Thakur as the chief man. In the first group, Damodar Swarup Damodar was appointed chief singer, and the responding singers were Damodar Pandit, Narayan, Govinda Datta, and Raghava Pandit. And the 5 responding singers were Damodar Pandit, Narayan, Govinda Datta, Raghava Pandit, and Govinda Nanda. Sri Advaita Charya was appointed as a dancer. The next group was formed and the chief singer was Srivas Thakur. Gangadas, Haridas, Sriman, Shubhananda, Sri Rama Pandita, Tahan Nache Nityananda. The 5 singers who responded to the singing of Srivas Thakur were Gangadas, Haridas, Sriman, Subhananda, and Sri Ram Pandit. Sri Nityananda Prabhu was appointed as a dancer. Vasudeva Gopinatha Murari Jahan Gaya Mukunda Pradhana Koila Ara Sampradaya. Another group was formed consisting of Vasudeva, Gopinath, and Murari. All these were responsible singers, and Mukunda was the chief singer. Shrikanta Vallabha Sen, Araduijan, Haridas Thakur Tahan, Korana Nartan. Another 2 persons, Shrikanta and Vallabha Sen, joined as responsive singers. In this group, the senior Haridas Thakur was the dancer. In the third group, Mukunda was appointed as chief singer. This party was composed of Vasudeva, Gopinath, Murari, Shrikanta, and Vallabha Sen. The senior Haridas Thakur was the dancer. Govinda Ghosh, Pradhan, Koila Ara Sampradaya, Haridas, Vishnudas, Raghava Jahangaya. The Lord formed another group, appointing Govinda Ghosh as leader. In this group, the younger Haridas, Vishnudas, and Raghava were the responding singers. Madhava Vasudeva Ghosh, Dui Sahodar, Nritya Goranatahan, Pandita Vrakeshwar. Two brothers named Madhava Ghosh and Vasudeva Ghosh also joined this group as responsive singers. Vakeshwara Pandit was the dancer. Kulina Gramar Ek Kirtaniya Samaj Tahanitya Korin Ramananda Satyaraj. There was a Sankirtan party from the village known as Kalinagras. Pardon me. There was a Sankirtan party from the village known as Kulinagram, and Ramananda and Satyaraj were appointed the dancers in this group. Shanti Purera Acharya Ek Sampradaya Achutananda Nache Tata Ara Sabagaya. There was another party that came from Shantipur and was formed by Advaita Acharya. Achutananda was the dancer and the rest of the men were singers. Kandera Sampradaya Kore Anyanta Kandera Sampradaya Kore Anyatra Kirtan Narahari Nache Tahan Sri Raghunandana. Another party was formed by the people of Kanda. These people were singing in a different place. In that group, Narahari Prabhu and Raghunandana were dancing. Jagannath Agechari Sampradaya Gaya Dui Pache Eka Sampradaya. 4 parties chanted and danced in front of Lord Jagannath, and on either side was another group. Yet another was at the rear. So there's several, I think 7 parties. So 4 parties chanted and danced in front of Lord Jagannath, and on either side was another party. Yet another was at the rear. So 4 in front, 1 on the side, on each side, and 1 behind. So altogether 7 groups. Shata Sampradaya Bache Choda Madal Jaradwani Shuni Vaishnava Hoila Bagal. There were altogether 7 parties of Sankirtan, and in each party 2 men were beating drums. The 14 drums were being played at once. The sound was tumultuous, and all the devotees became mad. Vaishnavara Mega Gatai Hoila Badal Kirtanande Sab Barshe Netrajal. All the Vaishnavas came together like an assembly of clouds as the devotees chanted the holy names in great ecstasy. Tears fell from their eyes like rain. Tribhuvana Bari Ute Kirtanera Dwani Anya Badyadir Dwani Kichvina Shuni. When the Sankirtan resounded, it filled the 3 worlds. Indeed, no one could hear any sounds or musical instruments other than the Sankirtan. When the Sankirtan resounded, it filled the 3 worlds. Indeed, no one could hear any sounds or musical instruments other than the Sankirtan. Shatatai Bhuvi Prabhu Hari Hari Boli Jai Jagannath Bolena Hasta Jugaturi. Lord Chaitanya wandered through all 7 groups, chanting the holy name, Hari Hari. Raising his arms, he shouted, all glories to Lord Jagannath. So I'm going to stop here. It's getting, and then tomorrow we'll continue. Now we'll sing Hari Hari. Don't stop. Hari Hari Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Nama Krishna Jaravaya Nama Jaravaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama Vaya Maravaya Keshavaya Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Gopal Govindaram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinatha Maranaman Giridhari Gopinatha Maranaman Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta-vrinda Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gora Bhakta-vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhakta Raghunam Jai Rupa Sanatam Bhakta Raghunam Shri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Rasa Raghunam Shri Jiva Gopala Bhakta Rasa Raghunath Echai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Chai Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan Jai Te Vignana Shabista Puran Jai Te Vignana Shabista Puran Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas Echai Gosai Jar Mui Taradas Tasavar Pada Renu Mora Panchagas Tasavar Pada Renu Mora Panchagas Padre Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Hare Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanibas Janame More Ambilas Janame More Harinam Sankirtana Kore Kamadas Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Nitai Gora Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Hari Bo Jai Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhari Juki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tila Neriya Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmal Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajaka Chariyashta Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajaka Chariyashta Tara Sadashi Shimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki jai. Rupanuga Guru Bharga ki jai. Namachar Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu ki jai. Premsi Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Vishvaparanya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad ki jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Prabhupad ki jai. Shri Bhakti Kushamashram Maharaj ki jai. Sripad Bhakti Ranjan Madhusuda Maharaj ki jai. All the assembled devotees ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari.
Srila Pavan ki jai.